Good evening, afternoon, whatever time you're listening to this. I'm Sam.
I'm Adam.
Today we're gonna talk about Pale Communion, step 18 or whatever on the Opethyssey after long last.
Thank God. It's about time. It's really about time.
Seriously. Yeah, it's funny because I don't know. I'm actually fairly familiar with this album. I've been fairly familiar with this album. Just weird scheduling kind of made it hard to focus on one thing to talk about.
Right. And we do still have a considerable amount of things to talk about other than this album.
ton of new albums, ton of news, ton of live reports. So that should be fun. But to praise the algorithm gods, we're going to talk about Pale Communion first because that's what this episode is called.
Yep.
So, Pale Communion was released in the year of our Lord 2014.
Bum.
In August. It is the follow-up to Heritage, 2011's much maligned artistic departure for the group. And it is their what number studio album?
11th.
Jeez and Crow.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the boys know what they're, I guess, doing when it comes to just grinding music.
Yeah.
But at this point, Opeth were very much an institution. Heritage was very disappointing for longtime fans. Even people that liked it, kind of begrudgingly liked it. I can say that it's probably the worst Opeth album.
Probably.
It's the only one we haven't gone in-depth on. If you listen to our cast, we just kind of oh yeah, it's mediocre. And that's true. It's pretty tropey, not particularly well executed. That's fine.
Yeah.
I'd argue Pale Communion is a step up from Heritage in virtually every function, form, factor.
I would argue the same.
Some people, like Angry Metal Guy himself, have argued that it is actually a perfect record. Some people, like a considerable number of old death metal Opeth fans think it's dog shit. I think it's pretty good. If I, so this is sort of giving away the verdict, but I think it's probably better than Watershed and Sorceress and Heritage and nothing else.
Yeah.
Maybe better than Deliverance, because Deliverance is good, don't get me wrong, but Jesus Christ, the last half of that album is a slog.
Yeah.
But for the most part,
I
don't know. I guess before we dive into the songs themselves, this thing sounds immaculate. Some of the best prog production I've ever heard. It's ridiculous.
Well, I mean, when you're a band like Opeth and you have kind of all the facets you need to record it, something like metal, like recording prog rock is pretty easy comparatively.
Yeah, they recorded this with the lads. Yeah. I think it was actually mixed by Steven Wilson. I forget who produced it. Let me check.
Oh.
So Dave Stewart is credited as producing, along with a pretty large team. Right. And Steven Wilson did mix it, which is cool. And yeah, I mean, this thing sounds immaculate. Like, the tones are perfect. The synth tones, the mellotron tones aren't too old-timey, but they still feel analog and warm. Bass tone is super fat. Really helps everything. The guitars here sound awesome. You can tell they're not just using, PRSs, but a good variety of classic stuff as well as modern stuff. Vocals sound great. Their string arrangements sound great. As far as sound goes, this album is up there. It's definitely astounding in that sense.
Mm-hmm. I mean, go for it.
I was gonna say, I'll change the subject a bit. So if you have another comment on the production,
you're good. Go for it. Change it.
Okay. Yeah, I was just gonna say, this record basically plays like Ghost Reveries without the dynamics that make Ghost Reveries so good. It's very tropey. It's very much indebted to 70s prog, which we know and love, but at this point is kind of a bit stale. And it's really good at that. It sounds like Opeth more so than Heritage, even more so than Watershed at times. You can tell Ackerfeld and crew wrote these songs, performed these songs. There are a lot of signature moments throughout, and the whole thing flows immaculately. Yep. That being said, it's a bit one note, and there's a reason why a record like Ghost Reveries is so good.
Comparatively. Yeah. I mean, I do get that vibe off of Pale Communion that it's just... I mean, it is kind of... It's very good at what it does, but it's only doing that one thing. and it's not straying or really expanding on that sound too much. Like when the switch to Heritage came in, Opeth really just kind of, I don't know, like they kind of knew what they were doing, but they couldn't make the pieces fit. And here the pieces do fit, but they can't fit anywhere else. Like, I'm sorry, I can't listen to one of these songs just by itself. Like, Pale Communion is Pale Communion, right? All these songs work together, and they do that extremely well, but they're only really good in context of itself. Like, the record is overall pretty strong at what it's trying to accomplish, but not really that memorable in the long run.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. I mean, I've been listening to Pale Communion a lot longer than the other, I guess, prog rock era Opeth records, and to this, like, I remember when grinding this record over the summer, I'd always just forget what half of it sounded like. And, you know, after listening to it like 15, 20 times, I think I have a fairly good idea, but I'd always just be like, oh, so there's Eternal Rains Will Come and it has that cool part, and then there's like the acapella part and Moon Above, Sun Below.
Yep.
And then that's it.
Yeah.
And it's not like this music is bad. In fact, it's actually quite good. Very well performed, very well executed, sounds immaculate. And if you like prog, chances are you'll like this thing. It just, I don't know, it kind of sucks that Opeth were arguably the best death metal band of all time at one point, and that they can like transition a lot of their songwriting talents and craft to other genres, but in this case in particular, just the way certain songs are structured, you just kind of want a little bit more.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure we'll go into it, but there are just certain moments on this record where like they're basically doing like a chuggy death metal part, and I'm just like, just let it rip, just go for it,
Yeah.
just go for it.
Yeah, no,
Yeah. I think AMG sums it up the best in his ridiculously positive review, where he basically said, it's like Ghost Reveries without the death metal parts, and that's an amazing thing. For him, that's enough for it to be a perfect record. For me, I wish there was a little more contrast.
Yeah. Notably, it is extremely one note. If you look away, you will not be able to tell where a song ends and where another begins.
Yes, it has every trope imaginable.
Yep.
Granted, they're done well, but they're not really being expanded upon in the way you want for something like this. Like earlier, me and Adam were texting, and he said, yeah, it's good, but it's no Wobbler, referring to Wobbler's Dwellers of the Deep from last year, and I'd agree with that.
Yep.
Like, what makes Wobbler so interesting is how they're able to blend like all these like modern flourishes with a very retro sound and have it feel fresh, and that's what makes a lot of contemporary metal exciting, right? And Opeth here are just doing the retro sound. They're not introducing anything in particular.
No, I mean it's like a mid-period Jethro Tull album.
Yes, it is a mid-period. Honestly, yeah. Well, I don't know. I'd argue that the consistency here is a little too
That's
good
true.
for that
True.
distinction. I'd say if we're talking like mid to late 70s, I'd say yes, because this, I don't know, like Passion Play era. Anywho, do you have anything else you'd like to mention before we start track by track in it?
No, I think it's hard to talk not in broad strokes with this album, especially because a lot of it does really sound the same, and there are certain songs obviously that we're going to be talking about that are pretty distinct, but I don't know, go into it. Like, we are probably going to be pretty harsh on this record, but like, it is still a good record, things considered.
I mean, all things considered, like, if I were to like try to be as objective as possible, this thing's probably like a strong 7, light 8.
Yeah.
It's the fact that Opeth's doing it, and we know that like these guys have reached the pinnacle of whatever modern music is before,
So yeah, I don't know. Keep that
as far as bangers go, I think Eternal Rains Will Come is a pretty amazing opening.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the highlights. You are always gonna remember it going forward into the track list, and it's kind of hard. It's hard to follow, seriously.
No, seriously. Well, it has like the super like powerful, iconic intro of just like that, bum, 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 bum. And like with the super quiche like 70s jazz organ, which we know and love. Quite a lot of dexterous jazz influenced drumming. By the way, as far as performances go in this record, I think Axe, I forget his first name, but is something Ackerson. They just call him Axe in the band. He joined for Watershed after Mike Lopez had a ridiculous. Yes, Axenrod. I'm sorry, I always forget. Look, anywho, after Lopez, was cripplingly addicted to opioids and got kicked out, Axe came in, and his experience was like he was the death metal dude. And if you listen to Watershed, you can tell. But on this record, his performances are impeccable. Like,
oh yeah,
he's doing the Lopez thing where he definitely guides the ear. He gives it a gentle, warm touch. He's using a lot of brushes, a lot of Latin patterns, and it sounds awesome. And at least like listening to the first like opening salvo of the record, that's sort of what sticks out to me. He's playing in the pocket. The tone's awesome. He's doing all. Oh, I hit my mic. He's doing all these like nice little fills, and then sort of accenting the quieter moments.
No, I mean it's great. It's super impressive, and it's kind of a nice. I guess if we're talking about contrast, like the one thing that you can give this album is like where the guitars aren't really doing too much, the drums are just wailing.
Yeah, no, seriously. And I mean, this song does. I think one of the things that makes this song a particular standout is how like well it does it, because you have a fairly nice intro before things pull away, and you get a fairly subdued verse before the song's sort of hook chorus comes in with the. I'm not going to try to mimic all of the different parts, but we know how it sounds.
No, and I guess this song does have a bit of a nice build, and it pulls it back, and it brings us back into the intense instrumentation, and it's the chorus is really nice, or I guess the refrain more so than the chorus, but like I don't know, it's really memorable, really bombastic.
Yeah, no, I mean the whole song like kind of functions as a chorus, because we have the title drop, the eternal reigns. And then, I like it when he goes up, and it's very pretty with the so hard to keep the darkness from sinking through. Like, I don't know, that's nice. And once more, the whole band sort of matches him. You got pretty layered, intricate guitar parts, warm bass, this gorgeous, like, synthy tone.
Yeah.
And once again, a nice little jazzy groove.
Oh, yeah, dude. Absolutely.
It's also, Frederick's solo on this. Frederick really shines as a lead player on this record. He's able to execute all of the very tasteful blues-influenced soloing, as well as he was able to do the more like straightforward metal solos in the past, and his lead work's really impeccable.
Yeah, no, super nice.
Yeah, the solo here, that comes in before going to the chorus and having a nice like little big outro. It's nice. The song's just fairly well composed.
It's really well executed, honestly.
Yeah, very well composed, well executed. It's very competent, and like, my main complaint is because there are so many moments in the song where like, they could just let it rip, right? Like the intro is super heavy, relatively speaking, and the outro is super heavy, and there are some moments in between, or like when Michael's doing the "Here It Comes," and they're doing basically like a death metal riff just without distortion, and having the keys mimic it. I'm just like, man, I wish it went a little bit more.
Yeah, it's not nearly as it sure doesn't stick out like any other Opeth riff does before it, at least, or before Heritage.
No, I agree. Like, I don't get me wrong, great song, but I don't think it's like standing up there with Deliverance.
No,
or
not at all.
Leper Affinity or any of the those fucking riffs.
Yeah, no, they can't stand. Can't hold no candle.
That being said, I mean, it's a good song. It's as we've demonstrated, it's well done, very well composed. All the performances are awesome. Also, like Michael's vocals on this record are much, much better than Heritage. They're fairly expressive. They're layered nicely. He's usually accompanied by like a synth or two, sort of guiding the ear, and they're they're very competently executed and surprisingly emotive for someone who's had the exact same delivery for 20 years.
Right.
Like in that one clean line on Orchid, you get the Ackerfeld delivery. It's there.
Yeah, no, it's funny, but yeah, no, he's still on top. They're all super tight. They're all great musicians, and still at this point,
yeah, totally
changed.
I mean, this. So funnily enough, Well, I guess we'll get to it when we get to Incauda Venenum, but Michael sort of said he just kind of bullshitted the last few records lyrically. And spoiler alert, we're talking Opeth. We're talking one brand of lyricism that permeates absolutely every record of theirs.
Wonder what could it be?
I don't know. Maybe dark romanticism, dark naturalism. I don't know.
Naturalism.
It's like it's very. Chances are you know what it is, and this song is just that. You know, it's a lot of kind of vague metaphors centered around like a central idea. In this sense, you know, or in this song, what's an eternal rain? It could be something, you know, that washes away like inner darkness or whatever, and that's what the lyrics sort of suggest. I don't know. They're like,
hey, pale communion, cleansing of the soul, something like that.
Yeah, fair.
I don't know.
I don't know. With this record, you know, you're getting exactly what you'd expected of Opeth.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, Michael uses the word sorrow like 8 times in this record, and I understand where all the memes come from now.
Yeah, no, he uses it quite a bit.
But that, I mean, I don't know. As lyrics have always sort of been tangential to the Opeth experience.
Yeah,
like some of their Deliverance has some of their worst lyrics, and it is probably one of their best songs. So it doesn't really matter.
Exactly.
It's important to touch upon that, though.
Yeah.
I mean, there are like always, there are some good lines here and throughout. It's just, you know, it's not really about anything, and it's very typical for the band at this point.
Yep. I mean, yeah, that's what the record is in, I guess, a general sense. But I don't know. I mean, they still have memorable moments and, you know, good call-outs that you can pull from. Like, the lyrics are, you know, they're still well written, even if they're dumb.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So, yeah.
I mean, it's not like there are any, like, spit your coffee out, like, ball busters here, like, that you'd get on certain other prog records.
Mm-hmm.
Which is all I can ask.
Right.
So, Adam, what do you think of Cusp of Eternity?
I think this song, it's nice. I just think it's kind of a little annoying. I don't really like Michael's vocal pattern on this song. Especially since it repeats for, like, the entirety of the 6 minutes. And there's, like...
this is an AVAVA song.
Yeah, it's the most verse-chorus Opeth song that they've ever written. And...
Hey, they have a post-chorus at, like, the 3-minute mark.
Yeah, that's true. You got some nice ride bells and, like, a solo in there. But, like, I don't know. This one does not hit the same high that, like, Eternal Rains does. For sure. It's just kind of a...
I mean...
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that main riff, he's literally doing, like, a chug, like...
Yeah.
And, like, imagine if it had a little more distortion. No, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think the song is fine. I don't think it's a highlight or anything. I actually like the chorus, you know, the...
Oh, yeah, it's for prog rock, it makes sense. It is kind of a trope.
Yeah, and I mean, once again, the fact, like, the instrumentations really match. That part, like, you know, it gets bigger. You have the guitars sort of doing the nice, like, Opeth slide up that you've heard a lot of times at this point, but it still works. You know, the synths are mimicking him. And if you listen down to our boy Mendez on the bass is doing some fairly nice work as well. That definitely guides the ear fairly well.
Yeah, no. I mean, obviously the rhythm section is just killer in these tracks.
Yeah, right.
No question about that.
I honestly even like sort of the like turnaround section here in the middle.
Yeah. No, it's nice. It really is.
Yeah, I mean, it is nice, and I do appreciate how the song sort of gets bigger, and how before the final chorus we get an absolute ripper of a solo.
Mm-hmm.
And a nice little build up into the final chorus. And it's all very prog. You know, honestly, this reminds me of Dream Theater or like ELP more than like King Crimson or Yes, because a lot of the more like, I don't want to say song focused, but you know, a lot of those bands use their turnaround sparingly, right?
Right.
Whereas I think the meme when it comes to Dream Theater is like, oh, they don't know what they're doing. All right, 8 bars of turnaround, and or ELP did that thing too, but
Yeah.
that was also 50 years ago. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. This whole song is fairly tropey. It's fairly simple, but like this whole record, it is certainly well executed.
Yeah, it's very well executed.
I like the chorus here quite a bit,
Mm-hmm.
and as the lyrics are actually kind of, I don't know, I kind of like the lyrics here. It's just about a mom who gives birth to a child, and things happen, and there's some there's pretty good imagery here,
Yeah.
which I can't complain
No.
about.
Mm-mm.
Except for at the end of the first verse where he says, "And eternal sorrow," and that's count number 1.
Is it?
Yeah,
No sorrow on the. Nope. On
there's
the
no
first
sorrow in eternal reigns, or is there?
verse. There's not. I just checked.
Okay, yeah. So this song's fine. It's nothing crazy.
No, absolutely not. Very run of the mill. The chorus verse is the worst thing that Opeth has ever done to themselves. It's just kind of like shooting themselves in the foot. But like it's still good. Like it's still a nice
But Adam,
song.
there are bangers from Damnation that use a verse, chorus, verse.
Yeah, but I feel like that was a different record. We're beyond that now. We're past that. Because like Windowpane is verse, chorus, verse.
Not at all. Windowpane has a very bizarre structure. I was gonna say like In My Time of Need.
Well, that song definitely has the verse, chorus. Yeah, there's a couple. Windowpane is at least starts verse, chorus, verse.
Well, yeah. Well, it goes intro, verse, solo, verse, different part, different part, different part, different part, chorus, verse.
Yes.
So very, very
Fair
different.
enough. Fair enough.
The next song on the record, Moon Above, Sun Below, I actually think's a highlight.
I do too.
At first, I thought this song was very boring, and I listened to it a bunch, and I was like, you know what?
No, it's pretty good. It's got nice builds, and I mean, Michael's performances on vocals is really nice. He's kind of leading the track with like a weird. I mean, he really kind of goes in on the track, and he like kind of howls a couple of times. Really gets into it. Well, there's this nice little prog or drumming going on in the background, and then it builds into the nice swell of instruments.
Yeah, I mean, I like this song because it's a very, very bizarre structure. We just kind of start with like this fairly simple, just bass and drum intro with Michael doing a thing on top of it, before the riff sort of builds up to the chorus. Or I don't even know if the chorus, because he only does it this one time, but like with the moon
Yeah.
above and the sun below. I think that's a cool part, and as we sort of recognized for most of this record that the instruments definitely match the vocals here.
Yeah.
They start going ham.
And you get the
The
nice
song has 2 breaks. 2 clean breaks.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, which is cool. Yeah, because after the sort of the first chorus, you get a nice little guitar part, and then things come again for a verse and a solo section, which has a key solo as well as a guitar solo.
Yeah, no, it's it's very funny. I mean, good. You know what? They have a dedicated key player now. They might as well use them.
Yeah, right. How do you feel about the like sort of acapella break in the middle? Like the voices of despair part.
Despair. I mean, it kind of makes me think of like Haken, but it's very different because it is the classic rather than like a modern take on it. And I mean, I don't know. I think Michael's voice sounds fine in it, but I also don't think it's the most interesting thing on the album.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool, and I'm glad that it's used sparingly. And it's kind of haunting.
That's fair.
It's nice,
Yeah, no, I think it's cool. I think like the fact that you just had this giant solo section. I think it's nice to break it up, and the rest of the song is pretty cool. We get another clean thing, and then it's sort of just built around this one very lengthy Opeth riff, which we've heard in things like the end of Harlequin Forest or the end of Deliverance. They're sort of going on this motif, building it out, breaking it down. And at the end we get a nice little climax, even with only circles on the water, which is a nice part.
Oh yeah, I think the climax is one of the better parts of the song, and it really takes its time building up to it before you get the big walls of guitars and big parts.
Oh yeah, they really earn it. This is an 11-minute song, and they actually I don't think they repeat any part after they move on from it.
Not really, no. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and a lot of critiques I've read of this record, a lot of people are like, "Oh, the song's too long."
No, it's not too long.
I don't know. I think it's nice. I like the fact that it's fairly unique in structure, and all the parts work. All the parts here are fairly memorable, which is nice.
Yeah, we miss our fucking 15-minute Opeth songs, okay?
Yes, we do, but alas.
Yeah. Anything interesting going on lyrically? Hey, Sorrow is in this song.
Sorrow is in this song. Yeah, slave to a sorrow. That's number 2.
Yeah, no, it's funny.
It's right. No, I mean, this. Spoiler alert. Dark naturalism with occasionally fairly cool imagery. I like the summer dying fast line. I like the there is no help sort of section.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the line, there is a need to sever myself away from happiness. I don't know. Look, chances are, if you've listened to Opeth before, you know what to expect with virtually every song in this record.
Yep.
There are a few highlights here and there, but for the most part.
Right. Yeah, that's fine.
So, Adam, what do you think about the first ballad on this record?
I mean, I think I would like it a little bit more if Moon Above, Sun Below went a little more in. Because half of that song is quiet. And I don't think this song needs to be either A, as long as it is, or B, just there. Because I don't think the last tracks and the last couple of tracks were intense enough to really warrant it.
Yeah, I'd agree. I mean, we sort of talked about this before, but on what are generally considered Opeth's 3 best albums, Still Life, Blackwater Park, and Ghost Reveries, there's a lot of ebbs and flows in the track list. So you have an absolute ripper like Moonlapse Vertigo contrasted with Benighted,
right?
Or actually, sorry, Godhead's Lament contrasted with Benighted,
yeah.
Or The Leper Affinity contrasted with Harvest,
right?
Or I don't know, Baying of the Hounds contrasted with Atonement. And what makes the soft songs work really well is the fact that you just heard this ridiculous death metal beast.
Yeah.
You need a little bit of palate cleanser. And I guess Moon Above, Sun Below is fairly heavy as far as this record goes, but Elysian Wolves Woes is basically 2 guitars for 3 minutes, and then the rest of the band comes in.
Yeah.
And it's not particularly interesting. I think it's well done. I'd say it's about as good as a song like Harvest.
No, yeah, it's kind of a Benighted clone.
Oh, he's going with Benighted. Yeah, I don't know. The song's honestly probably better composed than Benighted, because Benighted.
Yeah, true.
If you listen back to it, it's really not that clever, especially with what's come after. But it was good for the time.
Oh yeah, and it fits.
I
think it fits well on the album as well.
Come into this light, take me away. Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, look, which is sort of the mantra of Pale Communion, is this song is perfectly adequately executed. I just wish it contrasted harder against something of the other stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Michael's sort of hushed vocals here. I think they're fairly nice. I like when everything cuts out at the end and he says, "Don't want to bear my scars for you." I don't know. I think that's a nice line. I think once more the music, when the band comes in, it's cool. I like sort of the synth motif that contrasts with the guitars and the lyrics. It's cool. Don't get me wrong. The song's fine. It's certainly well executed, and Michael knows how to write a ballad at this point.
Oh yeah. No sorrow in this song.
What the actual heck, dude?
I know. I lied, actually.
Is there sorrow? Yeah, no. Even
There-
if the end is a world of sorrow, come on, man.
Jesus. Wow, Michael, who are
Yeah,
you?
dude. He's going for it.
No, my God, it's funny.
I don't know. Last thing I'll say is I like the backing vocals quite a bit in this song.
Yeah, good
I
on.
think they're well done.
It's the guitarist, right? The lead.
I think.
Lead guitarist.
Well, if you watch it live, I'm sure it's out. But I think on record it's just Michael.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
But they sound nice. They're arranged well.
Yeah.
They're like, you know, one thing in listening back to the Deer Hunters catalog the past few weeks is like one thing that strikes me a lot is just how horrifically like pitch corrected every acapella vocal is.
Yeah.
Like in every song ever, if there are background vocals, they are horrifically melodined to death.
Yeah.
And it's nice that I'm sure that these are too, but you can't really tell. They're
No,
more
you
of a nice
can't.
texture.
Indigo Child came out today.
Not the whole thing, right?
Something dropped today at least. Hold on.
I think just the intro.
How long
Wait.
is it gonna be?
Oh shit! No, they did drop a new song. Oh well, I know what I'm doing as soon as this is done.
Yeah, no, I thought that. Wait, hold on.
Oh, wait, did they
No,
did
I
they
think
actually drop the whole
I think
thing?
they dropped the whole thing.
Jesus. Okay, this is news to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh wow, what am I doing?
Yeah.
I mean, look, don't get me wrong, this record's gonna suck, but like,
Think of the potential. Dude, it's okay. There's 3 songs under 2 minutes.
all right, well, you know what? We'll discuss this next week. Anywho,
Okay.
oy vey. I think thing is, okay, we're not gonna go out of this tangent now because there could be people listening just for Pale Communion.
Yes.
We can go off on this tangent in about 30 minutes when we're done talking about Pale Communion.
Yeah. Alright.
The next song after Elysian Woes is what, Adam?
Goblin.
Goblin.
Instrumental banger. No, I mean, the song's fine.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I don't know. I think it works. Like, this is probably the most like straight up
Oh, yeah.
classic prog song on the
thing.
record. Like, if this song was released with worse production in 1973, I would hear it.
Yep.
And, you know, it's quite obviously named after the Italian prog group Goblin,
Yeah.
who, if you've listened to any of them, they do this exact sort of thing, where it's like a bluesy sort of like groove with, you know, influence from other stuff with like constantly like shifting keys and guitars.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like the central motif here. I think
Yeah.
it's cool. I like how the band builds around it. I like the solos. Once again, Axe destroys the kit here.
Yeah.
And like I said, the solos are fairly tasteful.
You know, I think overall it's a really nice progression. And while it is again pretty boilerplate for prog, the main riff is good, and the rest of the backing band is able to handle themselves just fine.
Yeah, no, totally. And I mean, I do like the sort of the final motif. The
Yeah.
before we get one final ripping solo to
Yep.
close the song off.
Very, very prog all
And
the
honestly,
way through.
at the very end, it kind of sounds like a Haken part, like the
Yeah.
that part. Very similar, like "Nil by Mouth" or something.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, this is a fine tune.
Yeah. Really.
This
just
is
fine.
the record. Like, the thing is, with Heritage, everything is just mediocre. With this record, everything's just pretty good.
Yeah.
Right? There are no real highs. Well,
Nope.
there are a few highs, but there everything's just a pretty good like baseline.
Middle ground. Yeah. Yep, I feel the same way. And with that, instrumental track. I mean, not too much to say there.
Yeah. So you're telling me you don't like the power ballad that comes next?
No. I mean, look, it's fine, but I don't know.
I don't know. Every time I get here in the album, thing is, we've been like 3 tracks before we had any real grit, right? Because this album opens up with its like 3 heaviest songs, and then you get a ballad, instrumental, power ballad.
The way I... No, I'm sorry. This is not my favorite track on the record by any stand. I think, again, very well executed. It's nice. The instruments sound cool, but, like, man, it really is like a ballad, like a really big power ballad. And like, yeah, there's a nice prog turnaround, like at 4 minutes or whatever, but
Yeah, I mean, what's cool about, or I think like not necessarily cool, but what's respectable in this song is how it balances, a very traditional proggy sort of ballad with straight up more involved prog, which is something bands like Hake and Dream Theater Symphony X have been doing for a long time. But Opeth do it part like fairly well here. Like the ballad part, it's well executed. I like the vocals once again. The melody's nice. The guitars are nice, and the prog parts are also fairly well executed. I like the fact that the song sort of progresses to a much more like intense instrumental at the very end.
Yeah. Well, I think it's needed. Otherwise, the song just kind of feels the same as Elysian Woes.
Yeah, no, totally. But I mean, we get like quite a lot. Like we get a turnaround, we get a solo section, and then we even get like kind of a climax.
Like somewhat.
There comes a time when I think that's pretty nice.
No, I think it's great.
That being said, I don't know. The fact that the first like 3.5 minutes of this song are what they are after what just came on the album kind of kills me a little.
Yeah.
But the outro's really awesome, and I think the last like minute and a half of this song are like probably the best moments on the record.
No, yeah. The song does end much better than it starts.
Yeah, and I guess you could appreciate the build, but there's not too like it's not like we're explosion in the sky and they're adding instruments. It's like clean part, heavy part, clean part, instrumental part, clean part, prog, like climax.
Yeah,
which is a band like Haken, for example. If you look at like structures for their epics, it's a much more logical flow usually.
Sure, yeah. Do we have sorrow on this song too?
I have not checked yet. You better control F.
Bro, no sorrow.
Damn. So we had what, 3 in a row?
Yeah,
and now?
No, well, no, we didn't. We had Elysian Woes, Moon Above, Sun Below, and Cusp of Eternity. Those 3 were in a row.
Yeah, those 3. And then No Goblin, and then No River. Damn, maybe we'll get redeemed in a Voice of Treason.
We will, because there is a sorrow in Voice of Treason. But
thank Christ.
But first, what are the River lyrics about, Sam?
Dark naturalism, a vague gesture towards probably a woman that Michael's singing to, or someone that the audience can insert themselves to. Some nice imagery throughout. I like the line, "In the embers of summer, all things must die." I think that's cool. And then that you've heard an Opeth song.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. They're fine. I think that's like the best line in the song.
No. Fair enough. Voice of not as cool as Voice of Trespass. I was gonna say, yeah. No, this song...
What, you don't like a weird like Egyptian groove?
No, Egyptian groove's fine. It's look, man.
Hey, this song is executed infinitely better than what's there's a song, is it Seventh Sojourn, or there's a song that's like 9 minutes on Sorceress, which is just them jamming on like this really underwhelming like Eastern groove, and it sucks so much ass. And this song is much better than that.
Yeah, fair enough. There is a live version of this on Sorceress on the deluxe edition. But anyway, sorry. I don't know what song you're talking about, but
I think I'm talking about on Sorceress, Strange Brew. Don't quote me on that.
We will. Hey, we're gonna. That's next. That's next on the chopping block. So.
Yes, it is next. I think Voice of Treason's honestly fairly well executed.
No,
I like the central groove that it's built around. I like all the string little jabs. I like the little affectations that the keyboard does throughout.
Yeah. No, it's generally nice. While I do wish the song went a little further and changed it up a bit, because this groove really does go over the entire track.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fair. I don't know. I
But
think the fact that like the verses and the the sort of hook are very much different sort of makes up for it.
yeah, and the ending climax of this song's great too.
Yeah, no, seriously. Like, and as once again the post verse or post chorus harmonizing like solo is awesome at like 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Super tasteful.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, really nice. Really well executed.
I think the climax here is amazing once again.
Yeah.
Yeah, where it's just everyone going bananas. You get the 8-armed drum performance
Seriously. And yeah, really soaring vocals, emotive guitar parts, the synth, all of it.
The synth, a subdued little synth outro to lead us into the closer.
Yeah, right.
So, you said there was a sorrow on this song?
There is a sorrow in this song. Have you ever had the feeling of sorrow inside?
Oh, so that we're at 4 for this record.
Yeah. No, that's 5.
Is it?
Yeah. Eternal Rains Will Come. Cusp.
Eternal Rains doesn't have one.
Oh, no. Cusp, Moon Above, Elysian Woes.
Oh, yeah, and Voice. So, 4.
Wait. Did River not have one? Am I stupid?
Did River not? Yeah, I don't think River had one.
Alright, hold on. Yeah, I think you're right with 4. I think that's it, though, because the last song does not.
Okay, well, 4 sorrows on this record. Either way, very mimetic.
Yes.
This is another very Opeth song lyrics.
Oh, yeah.
Like let's look at some gems here. Inside the ghost of love is laughing. It mocks the footsteps where I go. It tells me nothing has been lost. It whispers, you've seen darkness before. Like what does that mean? I know what it means, but that's just kind of dumb.
Yeah, it's kind of dumb.
I like the first verse quite a bit. Like, the mist is sleeping on the water and winter is hiding in my heart. I think those are nice.
Yeah. I mean, Michael's a decent songwriter, good poet, good lyricist. It's not like that's changed.
He's an okay lyricist.
Yeah, he's an okay lyricist.
By his own admission.
Right.
But yeah,
Effective.
Voice of Treason, honestly, pretty good. I'd say it's one of the better songs on the record, once again.
One of the better. Yep.
What about Faith in Others, Adam? How does it make you feel?
Fine closer. Not the most exciting closer that they've ever written.
Ooh, shots fired.
No, I don't know. I mean, it's okay. It's kind of another just straightforward buildy ballad that builds into a nice climax.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think the song's fairly good. You know, I like the fact, the intro, that's the fact, like, it's just strings, it's super heartfelt, you know, you can really hear some anguish in Michael's voice. It never goes full, like, one issue with, like, River, for example, is how the fact that the prog turnarounds go so goddamn hard, so they kind of kill any sense of emotion.
Mm-hmm.
But this song, never dips into that. Just has a nice little break.
Yeah. No, it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think the song is fairly well executed. I think it's very nice as a closer.
I mean, it is certainly one of the more memorable songs on the album. And the moment that the full instrumentation comes in, like, it comes into its own.
Yeah, totally. And, like, the sort of the vocal melodies are really well done throughout.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're fairly emotive and match the song well.
Yeah.
I like his like right around like 2 minutes, like where he really dips down and everything comes out. I think that's a nice moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I mean
also the like outro little guitar like melody is really nice.
Yeah, it's another quiet track on the record, but it's pretty good relatively. It's got a nice
I think this is probably the best quiet song on the record.
Yeah,
I think I definitely enjoy it more than the others.
Yeah. No sorrow on this track either.
What
I know.
Yeah, I mean, I do want to say, like, to give some credit where credit's due, this song is like infinitely better than like Hexomega.
Yeah, that is true.
Or even like Bird. I don't know. I think the general quality on this record is definitely higher than Watershed. Like they're just a lot more intelligently written and performed.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much right. Fully through.
Fully through.
And that just comes with mature songwriting, and
Yeah. And honestly, I think the lyrics are even quite good on this last song. It's sort of centered. It could be either a ghost or like a dude visiting, a graveyard, and there's just a lot of really good imagery here. Like, the grave of our youth is up ahead, and life has become a burden. Written decree of our loss, we carry no faith. The cross. Out through the doors of starvation into the reigns of damnation. And I like the little like asleep in the rain.
Yeah.
Child once again at the end. I like that part.
Lifted his curse upon me. No, it's nice. And you're right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
The guitar outro is nice.
Yeah, the guitar outro is super tasteful. And I guess if we were going to describe the record in one word, it's tasteful. It's not amazing. It definitely doesn't reach the heights of prior Opeth records, but it's all intelligently performed and intelligently executed.
Yeah, tasteful. It has some good moments, great moments that are worth coming back to.
Yeah, it's some great moments, but like you said, I don't know if there's any song here that I'd listen to over the highlights from prior Opeth records.
Right.
Like even Orchid has 8 bangers. Morning Rise has some bangers. Like all the records have just amazing songs in there. And then this record has like Eternal Angel Come, The Sun.
No, like that's seriously it.
And like Voice of Treason, and the close is pretty nice. But I don't think any of the highlights here kind of match up to the highlights of Opeth's past. No. I think we have to be honest with that.
No, I mean, I think you can stick any of these in a prog rock playlist, but like, I don't know. I don't know how much. I
don't know, because even with something like Damnation, right? Because Damnation's a fairly good prog rock record. I'd argue it's much better, but like, what quantifiably makes Damnation much better? It's really hard to put your finger on it.
It is. I think it just comes with it's just trying to be a rock album. It's not really trying to be this is an overtly prog rock album. Like, it's really trying to channel that 70s retro spirit.
Yeah, I mean, I think what makes Damnation so unique is how it's all one very particular type of mood.
Right.
And it's also just varied enough in that mood. And also, I think the song quality is probably a little higher. Like, a Window Pane could be argued as Opeth's best song. And there's no song here, I think, that touches Window Pane.
No. Nope. Yeah.
So yeah, like I said, probably like a strong 7, light 8. If you like prog, if you don't like prog, never consider this record in your life.
No, seriously.
A lot of people you can kind of recommend Blackwater Park to, because it's just so good. And even if they're not like familiar with like the tropes, they'll enjoy it. Ghost Reveries, much less so, but Ghost of Perdition, I feel like most people can enjoy that if you like heavy music. This record, unless you like have a boner and are very familiar with 70s prog, you'll probably won't enjoy it at all, just because it is so unbelievably indebted to a very specific time and place sort of sound.
Yeah, no, it really doesn't kind of hold its own water without context around it. It has to be viewed in a particular lens that the other Opeth albums just kind of exist outside of that. They don't have to be looked at as another death metal or another prog album. They're really their own beast. Yeah, they're just Opeth. This record's like, okay, do you like 70s prog? If you do... If no, well, yeah. So, I mean, I don't even know if we have the official ranking up right now, but... Well, I guess so what? At the top, we got Blackwater Park. Yep. Followed closely by Ghost Reveries. Yep. Then, kind of a toss-up. We've argued about this. Either Still Life or Damnation. Right. After that, where do we go? Probably Morning Rise. I put Morning Rise up there. Orchid. Yeah. Water. Then this record. Then Pale Communion. No, this is Pale Communion.
then Pale Communion, then Watershed,
Yep.
and then Power Gap.
Heritage. Yeah. Okay. Actually, here, let's write that down.
All right, and sorry, wait. Is this record better or worse than Deliverance? I
would prefer to listen to Deliverance.
I feel like it's sort of a mood thing for me. Like Deliverance, Wreath and Deliverance are amazing songs. Like amazing songs.
Mm-hmm.
This record, and then the rest of the record's kind of bad. This record is like all like 8s.
Yeah. No, that's true. Okay, so after Morning Rise was Pale Communion.
Orchid.
No, Orchid, you're right. And then Pale Communion.
Then Deliverance, Watershed, Heritage.
Deliverance, Watershed, Heritage.
Yes. Spoiler alert. Sorceress is going to be button heads with Heritage.
Yeah.
It honestly kind of boggles my mind how like Sorceress is so much worse than this record.
Yeah. Actually, wait, Sam. We may have lied at the beginning.
Why,
Wait,
is
no.
this not the?
It might
Well,
be
no,
the...
because they're counting Deliverance and
Wait,
Damnation as
where's
one
My
record,
Arms,
right?
Your Hearse?
Bro, where's my? How did we forget about My Arms, Your Hearse? I mean, wouldn't is My Arms, Your Hearse better than Morning Rise?
I like Morning Rise more. I think we had this conversation.
Yeah, I think Morning Rise is honestly better.
I think
Even if in
Morning
the
Rise is
past we said My Arms might have been better.
Okay. Yeah, My Arms.
I think My
then
Arms
Orchid.
honestly has better individual songs, but Morning Rise is definitely a stronger album.
Yeah. All right. This is gonna go.
When will the...
So yeah, to clarify for everyone, we have Blackwater Park, Ghost Reveries, Still Life, Damnation, Morning Rise, My Arms, Your Hearse, Orchid, Pale Communion, Deliverance, Watershed, Heritage.
Woo!
As our current ranking.
If I had to guess, I'd say Heritage and Sorceress are going to be battling it out, and then In Caught of Venom is probably. I don't. Thing is, the real question is In Caught of Venom a better record than Morning Rise?
I don't know. That might be something we have to test out.
Yeah. See, because I've listened to that record like so goddamn much. I ground the shit out of it in 2019 when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know how. I don't know how I feel about it now.
Yeah. All right.
But nonetheless, that is our opinion on Pale Communion.
Yeah.
Like, comment, subscribe, all
It's
that
like
stuff. We're gonna spend
it's like a 7.5, strong 7, 8,
late 8.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
context is important and understand what you're getting into.
Yeah. I mean, look, if you have an older family member that goes bananas for 70s prog, I'm sure they'll love the hell out of this record.
Mm-hmm.
But if I don't know, basically anyone else would not recommend.
No, right. Okay. Well, cool.
Woo,
Opeth.
that took a long time to get done.
Yeah, not too much. We still got some time.
All right. Do you want to do albums or news/concerts first?
Let's do albums, and then we'll do news.
All right. So, I mean, are we covering the ones that came out today? Or are we gonna let's go in order. Let's go in order.
Or order of what?
Because the last time we recorded one of these was the day that like Full of Hell and Frontier came out. Right. Or no, it was just Frontier.
No, and Full of Hell. That was the same day.
Oh yeah, So and then Big Brave 2.
Yes.
And then and clearly there are more.
Yeah,
So
there are definitely more.
all right, what do you want to start with?
Well, now you've heard the Frontier album, and we could say it on tape. Yeah, I don't know. The album's fucking incredible.
Yeah, I mean, look, the thing about Frontier is they make the sickest, like, heaviest, like, metalcore type music you will hear in your life. Like,
Yeah.
and somehow Oxidized, they like push their sound past what is conceivable for this sort of thing. Like, this record is disgustingly heavy.
Yeah.
If you thought like Orange Mathematics or Unloved were heavy, don't get me wrong, those records are stupid. This record somehow goes further than that.
No, it really pushes into like electronic and glitch territory that you just would not fucking expect. It's just
like
going
power electronics.
so into these. It's insane, and the fact that it's getting a popularity unheard of, I think, for the band before is pretty nice. Good for them.
Yeah, no, look, hey, good for them. You know, I think in the past, maybe even on record, we've said that we shouldn't have put Unloved as the number 3 album for 2018.
No, it should have been number 2. Maybe even number 1. Maybe even number 1.
I thought you said you were going to lower it.
Lower it? No, I don't even... I don't know. That album's pretty incredible. Like, and yeah, it's a little long. But...
I was going to say, that's my critique of Oxidized, because this record is, like, it's stupid. Any of the songs out of context, you know, you're gonna hardcore dance your room into a pulp. But, you know, 50 minutes of basically, you know, one note insanely heavy mathcore / power electronics can be a bit much.
It is a bit much.
It's like when you listen to Meshuggah for the first time when you're like 15, and you're like, are they really just going to do this for an hour? And then they do. And then you kind of learn to love it. Yeah. With Frontier, it's like, are they really just going to do this for an hour? And then they do.
Yeah.
And that's what Fantano didn't like about it.
I know. But, I don't know. I mean, I think them doing it heavy, and they even change it up a lot on this record. Like, take a track like Swans. Like, that track is really different than, you know, other stuff. And they continue to experiment using their own sound, which is, it's great. Good for them.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I mean, that being said, like, the bangers here, ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, as a record, if you can get past the fact that it is basically one tone for an hour, you'll love it. Like, this thing's it's amazing. Yeah. The songcraft's great, riffs are great, vocal performances are inhuman as usual. A lot of fun call-outs, a lot of ridiculous breakdowns.
Yeah, all great stuff. Seriously.
Yeah, I mean, look, it'll definitely be up there for us. Like,
oh, yeah.
Just, you know, I definitely understand the criticism, and if you're not really used to music like this, I definitely would just listen to the songs out of order.
Yeah, right.
Once in a while.
Yeah.
Because even like a record like Orange Mathematics, right, or like Unloved has like a more like staggered flow.
Right. Definitely Orange Mathematics. Like, that album is an album.
Yeah, no. Orange Mathematics flows quite well.
Yeah.
In a world where the sun...
No, it's insane. It's intense. This music's great.
Don't make me go to Arctangent this year.
Stop.
That lineup is stupid.
Yes, dummy thick.
Speaking of dummy thick lineups, also this Full Out record is absurd. It's incredible. It's really, really dang good.
Yeah, no, it's kind of just like, I really didn't think that the band... I thought the band was going in a different direction. We weren't the hugest fans of Weeping Choir at PMMetalGuide. Like, we enjoyed it. It's a great record. But, like, Trumpeting Ecstasy really kind of hooked us in when it got us. But this album is just... It's the next step. It's going back to their noise roots, their grind roots, and everything that, like, really made the band who they are before the death metal and the, I guess, popularity hit them. And this album just goes in all the way.
No, totally. It's like you know, Trumpeting Ecstasy. It's a really like fleshed out listen. Yeah. You know, there were like 2 harsh noise tracks which don't feel like tacky at all. The more straightforward death grind tracks do what Full of Hell does best. And then there are sort of like these hybrids where they're doing like typical Full of Hell stuff but with noise riffs, like noise rock riffs, and it just works so goddamn well. Like, you know, the singles like Industrial Messiah Complex or Reeking Tunnels are amazing, but so are like the first 4 songs in this record. And like, you know, Burning Apparition's sick, Running Cells sick, all those sick. The closer's sick. Like the whole thing just works at a, you know, very crisp 20 minutes and accomplishes exactly what the band is known for.
Yeah, it's really, really stunning. Pretty darn fucking good.
No, totally. And, like, it's one of those things where, like, it's an expansion of the sound, but not in a way that feels, like, contrived or anything, and is still just as good as their previous material.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Whereas, you know, you can make the argument some other bands we talked about at length, like, I don't know. Sometimes when bands try new things, you know, it doesn't work. Mm-hmm. But this is, like, one of those things where there's still plenty of their old sound with just enough, like, to change it up and give the album an identity, and it's really well done.
Yeah, totally.
Look forward to seeing them with Wolves of the Throne Room.
That's gonna be
Wada.
Oh yeah. Weird lineup, but I'm in.
Speaking of weird lineups, the Big Brave Body collaboration
Yep.
is I was expecting this record to be very underwhelming and be like, it's like a I don't know, a Michael Gio solo project. I'll probably listen to it once and be fine. And then I heard it and I was like, Jesus Christ, this is one of the best records of the year.
I think it's really interesting because at least I did not like the singles. I was like,
No, me either.
I was like, they're not doing it for me. But in the context of this record and really hearing the entire thing fleshed out, really rewarding. Incredibly
100%.
rewarding. Like, I never thought I would like an Americana folk album in 2021. But
Yeah,
here
I
we
mean,
go.
it really does sort of sound like the lighter, like Swans tracks, kind of Worm Ouroboros.
Yeah.
Kind of a what's Neurosis's acoustic dark folk project?
Oh, Scott. Hold on.
It
Scott
sounds like
Kelly,
that.
right?
I always forget the name of it.
Hold on. Yeah, Neurosis. Is it just Scott Kelly's solo project?
It was also with a couple of other dudes from the scene, from the Boston area.
I'm gonna try and find it. No.
They put it on. I think they only have one full length from like 2004. They put it on Bandcamp about a month ago, and it's really good. But
I don't.
anyway, it sounds like that, and these all these songs are very layered. There's a lot of really good texture. Robin Waddy's voice works perfectly in this sort of thing, and it's not like we're just hearing like incredibly simple compositions that go for a long time. Like there's a lot of really cool elements, like a lot of subtle synth, some like violin thrown in there.
Yeah.
A lot of clever vocal layering.
No, yeah.
And the thing flows immaculately. It's like 40 minutes, goes incredibly quickly, and it's just a very exciting and emotional and like powerful experience, and I never would have expected that.
No, yeah. It kind of just takes you in and absorbs it, and you're just surrounded by the compositions. It's really, really engaging fully during its run. And like, I don't know, like it does kind of toe that line of being like deceivingly simple, because you do have these pretty standard folk and rock structures that, or like even blues structures on a song like Hard Times or Once I Had a Sweetheart.
Yeah.
That really transform and become these really, I mean, I guess typical body-esque compositions with a ton of shit going on in them.
Yeah, and I mean it's really good. Like we talked at length about everyone's favorite new album of all time, number like 8 on RYM of all time, Sinner Get Ready.
Right.
Right, and how the album is like an experience that's just not interesting, and this record is an experience that's consistently engaging. So.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Great.
I don't know. Really good.
Great record.
This is definitely up there for me, and I was not expecting it at all.
No. Nope.
The next one that I have that I've been grinding is the new Knocked Loose. But before that, do you have anything else?
No, dude. Let's talk about that Knocked Loose. Go.
Yeah.
Dude.
Saw Knocked Loose like a month ago. Me and Anna have been practicing a Knocked Loose song pretty heavily for a musical endeavor we're in, and the Knocked Loose surprise released this like 6-7 track EP with like
tracks,
a fully 6-track EP with like a full music video last week.
It's I never would have guessed. Not in any lifetime would I have pegged Knocked Loose to go deathcore, but they do it, and wow, does it work.
Yeah, this is one of those things where like a band that's already sickeningly heavy somehow gets heavier.
Yeah.
And they do it by like bringing in all these outside influences and doing it really, really well. And Knocked Loose have done that. There's there's samples on this record, as you mentioned. There are a lot of blast beats. There's some like a lot of like switching between high and lows, and like the signature like very well executed modern metalcore sound that they've sort of become associated with. And I don't know, this record's it's like stupid and entertaining. Like, I'll be walking around campus or whatever, 20 minutes between classes, and I'll just put this on and start two-stepping.
No, seriously, it's
really good.
it's so intense. The music just goes so hard. The tones are so heavy comparatively to most of their other recorded stuff. And like maybe it's the modern production that really just does it for me. But like something about it just it's so daunting and challenging comparatively.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the fact that like, you know, this record has several like black metal sections out of nowhere, and if you were to tell me that like a month ago, I'd be like, yeah, funny, haha.
Yeah.
You know, Knocked Loose are gonna make another record that sounds exactly like Knocked Loose, right?
Right.
But no, this is like once again a really clever step forward.
Yeah.
And yeah, wow, I've been I've been very very impressed.
Yeah.
And so much so that I almost want to go to the Gojira show this upcoming Wednesday in Maine, but I'm not. I can't. After I went to like 5 shows last week, and I have no desire to see Gojira touring Fortitude.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't either. That'd be an interesting crowd. That'd be a weird crowd.
What do you mean? It'd just be every like metal fan in the area.
I mean, I guess so. It's just Knocked Loose into Gojira is strange.
Yeah,
especially
no, right?
new
like,
Knocked Loose into new Gojira. There's the wires don't cross.
I feel like Knocked Loose would just be like a lot, would be like more fun live.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Not like Gojira are amazing live, but you know when they do a 15-minute version of the chant with the crowd sing along, I think I'd lose it a little.
Yeah.
Joe's like, "Are you ready?" All right, and then they hold the mic out and start doing like the
That's fucking
funny. You know it's gonna happen.
Oh yeah.
Shudders.
Yeah, no. Okay, yeah. Great. We're talking about, by the way, that was A Tear in the Fabric of Life was the name of that.
Yeah, which is like a 1-song EP.
Yeah.
Kind of funny. A tear in the fabric of life.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Like, if you like Knocked Loose at all, or like extreme metal, definitely check it out. It is them evolving in a really clever, forward-thinking way.
Yeah. Have you heard this, the Silver record? It was an AMG 4.
1 second.
It's got one of the members of it's got 2 of the members of Horrendous in it.
Oh yeah. No, this is a record that I have saved and have yet to listen to because I was like, oh, it's like a super group with Horrendous and Crypt Servant.
Yeah, no, it's a black metal album for half of it, and then like a progressive rock album. Not like Stone Healer or like Pale Communion, but like it brings in alt rock elements and like the clean choruses and stuff that we know from like Horrendous's records. Like it's sort of it's black metal Horrendous, I guess is really the best way to put it.
Okay, I mean, I'm sure it's good. It's one of those things where like when you see a record reviewed highly by like all of the somewhat large like metal blogs, you know it's great. And I have it saved. I just have yet to peep it.
Yeah, I'd recommend. Yeah, it has the bassist and the clean vocalist and guitarist Matt of Horrendous.
Did you end up listening to the new Vajrada record?
No.
What the heck, Adam?
No, I did not. I did not subject myself to that.
It is... I don't know. It is fine. Like, if you like the first Vajrada record, you'll like this. It just doesn't really do anything, like, particularly cool.
Right.
That's all. I don't have much more to say about it. I mean, do you want to talk about today's releases? Because I've listened to all of them except...
I haven't listened to anything to today, but we can listen. We can talk about stuff.
All right, I'll just mention. I'll do a few words because there's some nuts ones that I've really enjoyed.
Yeah.
Obviously, new 1914.
Yeah, I'm actually excited to listen to that record.
I didn't even know this was happening till yesterday, and I was just sitting in lecture, scrolling through my laptop, whatever, zoning out, and then I noticed there was a review of every new of this album like 5 times, and all of them were like, "This thing is the best record you'll ever hear." Like, I'm sure I listened to it today. It was really good. It sounds sort of like a more polished version of the Blind Leading the Blind, with a few more like genre.
Yeah,
like
bends,
very
breaks.
very very much like melodic death metal with a strong blackened edge. So like, bolt thrower mixed with asphyx
Yeah.
and fairly nice hooks and whatnot, and great production. And I listened to it once. I'm sure it's amazing. I was very impressed what I heard.
Good.
The new Worm record is actually that good. I was like, nah, there's no way, and then I heard it saying, I was like,
Yeah. No, I listened to the singles, and I'm ready for that one too.
I mean, it's amazing. I'm sure we'll talk about it in next week. And Peggy, you think you know me? Damn.
No.
What? 96 to for all the call-outs. Peggy dropped an album today, announced like 2 days ago, just called LP exclamation point. It has a few singles which he released over COVID, as well as plenty of new songs, and it's really good. Spoiler alert. Like all Peggy records, your mileage will depend on how much you like short songs that aren't 100% fleshed out, because that's just the way he makes music.
Right.
But I'd say this is fair. From one listen, it's fairly good, and the singles, which we've heard before, are all awesome. Very excited to see him next week.
Listen to the Bandcamp version and not the Spotify version.
Yeah, listen to the real version. And I guess the Deer Hunter Surprise released a record.
Yep.
Like, thing is, I thought they were just gonna. So for those who don't know, the Deer Hunter did this like very bizarre like 2-part Evening with tour where one half they did an acoustic set / Q&A, and the other half they did like a rarities set. I went to both nights. If you listen to our last podcast, I got in an argument with Casey Crescendo on them.
Yeah.
But anywho, at the end of the first night, Casey showed like a 15-minute short film that he had made himself, basically detailing the start of like this sci-fi journey. And I was like, oh, that's cool, whatever. But I'm not like excited for that. And then the next night they debuted a couple of new songs from that, and it appears that they that short film called Dust is actually uploaded on YouTube now, so check that out if you're so inclined. Adam, you'll have to watch it and give me your thoughts.
Yeah.
And they also surprise released an album today, and I mean, I don't know, I'm sure it's good. Like I don't know. I've sort of after, because one thing is, when you listen to one Deer Hunter album, you got to listen to all of them, and so I listened to Act 1 and then worked my way backwards in the acts. And honestly, this is kind of a tepid take, but dude, I don't know. Maybe 4 and 5 are better than we gave him credit for.
I like 5. I think 5. Like, I know there's some cringe, but the last half of that album is incredible.
Yeah, no, I agree. And like, I don't know, 4 is very consistent and all the songs are well done. And I listened back to Act 2 and like Act 2's A-side is amazing. Act 2's B-side is dog shit.
Yeah.
Like, not just like, oh, this song has its moments, like actively bad.
Fair enough. True.
So, I don't know.
Yeah.
This is a discussion for another time, but I don't know. If I had to guess, knowing the more recent direction Deer Hunter's gone with, the masterpiece we all know as all should be, that this record would suck ass, but I don't know. I'm also excited for it.
Okay, well, we can hope. We can hope.
Any other new music you want to talk about?
That came out today.
I'll mention, that you've been listening to and we haven't spoken about yet. I'll mention The World is a Beautiful Place and I am no longer afraid to die.
Yeah. Damn right.
I saw a bunch of publications talking about this and I was like, oh, so it's like second wave post rock. And then I listened to it. It's like very run of the mill, like contemporary indie with a lot of post hardcore and a lot of math.
Yeah.
And your mileage will very much depend on how much you enjoy Andy Hull style vocals. But if you can get past that, it's really good.
Right. I haven't been listening to too much. I've been going back a lot and trying to organize as we kind of come to the closing of the year. I know it's still a little early for that, but I'm trying to get a bunch of ducks in a row, especially since I think I've listened to more music this year than I have any other year. Or at least there's more music that I'm interested in and is, in my mind, good at this time. So I have to kind of compartmentalize and organize. That's why I've been listening to a lot of black metal. But I've also been listening to a couple more EPs that have come out this year. And there's a couple really, really standout ones that we haven't really, talked about.
Yeah, go ahead, shoot.
So there's this brutal death metal band from fuck where just crap, I can't, it doesn't rate your music, you failed me, you son of a bitch. But it's called Effluent, is the name of the band, and it's not so much brutal death metal as it is I mean, the descriptors on RYM are brutal death metal, tech death metal, gore noise, avant-garde metal, and free improv. It's one of the most coked out little tech death albums I've ever heard. Like, it's got saxophones, it's got all sorts of crazy bullshit happening. The band title has a tag on Bandcamp that's just brutal free jazz, which is honestly pretty accurate to what it is. It's super abrasive, super intense, but it's also pretty cool. So I've been kind of peeping that a couple of times.
Checks out.
Did we mention Call the Cat on the show? Because, man, I've been ripping that album like no one's
I don't
business.
think we did. Yeah, no, Call the Cat is a surprise. I don't know. It's like raw atmospheric black metal with a lot of like gaze influence.
Yeah, it's really interesting. It uses a ton of different metallic elements, post metal, shoegaze, fucking death metal, black metal stuff. It's really interesting, really cool.
Yeah, no, I mean it's immaculate. It's only 3 songs, but they're all like incredible.
Yeah.
like the opposite of like a Hierarchy for the Sky record where everything's like an exact like 7.8.
No, yeah.
Every song here is like a 9. It's amazing. It's really good.
Yeah. And I also have been, going back and re-listening to stuff over the year, and like I really not undervalued that Victory Over the Sun album, but like that album's fucking
dude, it's
great.
Stupid.
Yeah.
Like the thing, look, we here at PMMetalGuide love Adam Campbell, love Juke-Kite, don't get me wrong, but it's not like Juke-Kite has ever made music that was even remotely accessible ever.
No.
And at least with Victory Over the Sun, she's taking sort of the recipe for that Juke-Kite made and like making actual songs out of it.
Yeah.
And I don't say that as like a diss to Juke-Kite. I just mean like she's definitely much more focused on melody and songcraft, which is great.
Right. And
no, that record is stupid good. No, I've been doing the same thing, dude. Like the first like week of February had so much good music. Like that Body record's awesome. Ex Imperatus is awesome. Humanity's Last Breath is awesome.
Yeah. Seriously.
I enjoyed all of those.
No, it's all great, and I know I mostly listen to black metal because I'm a nerd, but like, I don't know. There's just so much goddamn good black metal, and just kind of
yeah, right. It's like every month you start up Stereogum and you're like, oh, what are we going to talk about now? It's like 8 black metal records, and they're all like the best black metal record you've ever heard.
Yeah.
And you're like, damn.
Like shit, I gotta listen to more black metal.
Yeah, right. And I mean, there are several releases coming up too that are super exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, I guess on for the 3 like mainstream ones would be Mastodon, which the singles are awesome, like really surprisingly good.
Yeah.
Chemist, and then Archspire.
Well, don't forget about Converge and Chelsea Wolf's coming out too.
Oh, that's coming out this year?
Yeah, it's November.
Don't mind if I do.
Yeah. And no, you're right. The year's not even close to over yet.
Yeah, we have like a month and a half of just, ridiculous amounts of good music getting dropped every single week.
Yeah, no, Blood Moon 1 comes out in 4 weeks from today. From record date.
That's cool. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure it will be good. Like,
no, yeah.
I'd be legitimately surprised if it wasn't good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we talked about the most recent Archspire single that came out on the previous podcast, but the Drone Corps Aviator is like the best song the band's ever done.
Yeah,
it's so good.
They're just insane. It's just gonna be insane fucking record.
Yeah, and it's funny because every single review of it is like, can Archspire make a better record than Relentless Mutation? Yeah. And then all the reviews are like, yep, they did it.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
Oh yeah, I mean it'll be awesome.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about news and then concert reviews, or concert reviews then news?
We'll Let's talk about concert reviews and news. News is more recent.
Okay,
So,
let's go in order then.
All
So,
right.
like I said, I went to like 5 shows last week. I'm not going to name the local show I went to or talk about that because, I don't know, it's not particularly exciting.
No.
But I will go in order for the others.
All right.
All right, Adam, grab your coffee mug. I'm going to take a swig of water.
Sure.
So, I saw Slipknot playing their Knotfest Roadshow 2021 Full American Tour on the 8th in Mansfield, because that's the closest date to where we are in sort of like northern New England.
Mm-hmm.
It was a schlep and a half. I spent 3 hours driving down there for what should have been an hour and a half because of traffic. We barely got there on time because of more traffic and like seat fuckery.
Big oof.
But sure, I've said this a bunch of times, but the Slipknot show was a religious experience. Like, I know that music means a lot to a lot of people, and we've shit on Slipknot in the past, and they're hysterical. You can meme on them for a lot of different things.
Yeah.
But, so, I don't know, when seeing them, like, perform the hits in the context that I did, it was, I don't know, I felt like I was, like, 14, and I had, like, not a care in the world, and it was the best thing ever.
Yeah.
Like, to give you some perspective, I also was blasted.
You're right.
I had about like 15 drinks total before Slipknot came on,
Right.
and so I was so fucking excited. And me and a friend who went there ended up getting absurd seats. We were direct, like basically like 30 feet from the band in the front for relatively cheap, given a show that size. And so we had like a perfect view of Slipknot while they played like the best set you could ask for.
Right.
Like the one song they played from Volume 5 was Devil and I.
Right.
The 2 songs, actually I think they only played Psychosocial from All Hope Is Gone.
That makes sense.
They played Vermilion, Duality obviously.
Right.
Before I forget, obviously. People Equal Shit, Heretic Anthem, Disaster Piece, all the hits from the first record, and off of the new record, Nero Forte, Soulway Firth, Unsainted, and We Are Not Your Kind.
Wow.
And I don't know, like Slipknot know how to put on a show. Corey Taylor did all of his really fun stage banter.
Mm-hmm.
I was on cloud 11, hardcore dancing to Slipknot and screaming all the words, which I didn't even know I still remembered. Right. And it was amazing. It was so goddamn fun.
Yeah.
Like full pyro, them doing all the things. Like, don't get me wrong, I'd probably rather go to like a $10 underground show than spend like $800 on a Slipknot show or whatever. But it was amazing. It was incredible.
yeah.
Way better than it should have been.
Mm-mm. That makes sense. I mean, I'm a little jealous. I'm not opposed to spending the money. I mean, it was the first time I went to a Slipknot show. It was definitely worth it. And granted, I was a baby teenager, but I don't know. I'm sure the energy is kept up 20 years later.
Yeah, it was so goddamn fun.
Yeah.
And also the openers are good. Code Orange killed it. I got a Code Orange shirt. They honestly did a really good job. Even opening a set like that's kind of tough because it's in the day when people are still walking in. I didn't even look at Fever 333. Me and my friend were like grabbing like drinks during that time. Killswitch were actually disgustingly tight. I was not expecting that at all, but they were somehow incredible live.
No, I believe it.
I don't think I've ever enjoyed a single Killswitch song, but when they played My Curse and covered Holy Diver, I was going bananas. And yeah, I don't know. That's the show. It was really fun. I wish it wasn't far away. I wish I didn't spend that much money, but
right.
It was impeccable. I definitely had way more fun at that Slipknot show than I did even seeing Tool or Radiohead, when those bands are objectively much better, just because they know how to put on a show and those songs slap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, boys know how to have fun.
All right, up next, Idols on Tuesday.
Bum bum.
I guess would have been last. I think it was the 12th.
Yeah.
At the House of Blues, Idols sold out the House of Blues, which is insane.
Yeah.
Definitely tells you how large they are now. I drove down by myself, which was not super fun, despite having a bunch of people that were going to go to the show.
Right.
And I don't know. The Idols are great. It was. The thing is, it was a really good show, but I don't know. I had to temper my expectations a little bit.
Yeah, it makes sense.
especially since Ultramono, I've just kind of soured on Idols a little bit.
Yeah.
It's not like their music's bad. Like, it's great. They have amazing songs. They're a great band. They, great cause, good performers. I was just like, not feeling too hot about it, but I had a free ticket, so I went.
Right.
Opener were called Gustav. It was the most... Apparently, they're pretty beloved, but it was like the most generic art rock, art punk you've heard in your life. It sounded like they were ripping off like Velvet Underground and Waitress. And I like almost fell asleep. It was crazy. It was so boring. Then Idols came on, and they opened with Colossus. And right before the beat drops, Joe's like, "All right, I want to see if everyone split the crowd in two." And that was the first of 3 Wall of Deaths at that show.
Damn. And the Pitchfork kids went in.
It was one of those things where I think everyone was just really excited to be there.
Yeah.
And Idols killed it live. I wish 2 main qualms. I wish they were louder. Like, I could have gotten through that show very comfortably without earplugs. And I was, in the pit. Like, not in the pit, but in the GA, which is, live music, especially aggressive live music, should be loud as balls. Yeah. And also, Joe's vocals were just, like, shredded.
Yeah.
After the first song, he was like, "I blew my voice out 3 nights ago." And then he just kept... I mean, that's sort of one thing that I think about as musicians sometimes is, like, listening to, like, all these people scream with bad technique for a long time.
Yeah.
I'm always kind of like, are they going to be able to do that for, like, touring?
Yeah, I don't know.
And you could definitely see it here. But that being said, like, Idols played a great set. The hits were the hits. They brought up, like, this 12-year-old to sing Danny Nedelko, who stage dove, like, twice and growled the lyrics, and it was sick. I two-stepped my ass off to the Brutalism tracks.
Yeah.
They did 3 Walls of Death. The last one was during Never Fight a Man with a Perm.
Dog.
During, like, the little breakdown, and I think, like, the entire crowd did the Wall of Death. Wow. They also did, like, an "everyone get the fuck down" moment, too, and it was really fun.
Yeah.
And then during Love Song, they did, like, a 10-minute bridge where just the rhythm section played, and then the guitarist and Joe just improvised, like, very poorly sung renditions of popular songs. Well, one of the guitarists did a noise solo over the whole thing.
Jesus Christ.
And during that time, I was standing at the mixer for most of the show, which is what I do.
Right.
The guitarist walks through the crowd while he's playing the noise solo, gets right, like, literally next to me. So, like, I'm the person he's sitting next to, hands the guitar to the sound dude, and then he does a noise solo. I strum the guitar because I was a little drunk. And they, like, gave me this evil look, and I was like, "Sorry," and then walked back up to the stage. So yeah, Idols are really fun. I don't know, it wasn't like a perfect show.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things where if you go to a large show like that and the crowd doesn't really know, like, pit etiquette, there may be some things, like, for example, some dude died, like, right in front of me, like, tripped standing directly, and then I bent down to pick him up, and someone almost fell on me. And
wow.
I've been injured at shows in the past, so that was not cool.
A no-go.
And that sort of messed up my vibes for the rest of the night.
No, I believe it. It makes sense.
But, show was fun. If you like Idols, you'd have had a good time. Energy was awesome.
Yeah.
Third show of the week. This one you went to, Adam.
I did, in fact. I did go to a show this week, which is pretty awesome. Or I guess last week. We
with the juice.
We saw Imperial Triumphant and Piran and a local band, GOG, at a sold-out show at the Middle East in Cambridge. And, wow. Yeah. That was a fucking show, if I've ever been to one.
That was a show.
Yeah, I mean, the openers, GOG, they were pretty good. It was just kind of standard Death Doom. Like, it was fine. Like, you could tell they were, like, just a baby band, but they were tight.
Yeah, no, they were relatively tight.
Piran played, and I still haven't recovered because I don't even understand how they could make the stuff that they were so close to being on record and so far from being on record at the same time. It was just incredible the way that they were able to use their songs and improvise over their own songs, and then it was insane.
Yeah, honestly, I was kind of surprised because if you listen to Piran on record, you'd feel like, oh yeah, I'm sure these guys just like super tight live. Not only were they super tight live, but like a lot of their songs, they'd play them, and then everyone in the band would just be doing entirely different things than on record at the same time, and then like solo in between songs, and just the level of musicianship, especially like with the guitarist and the bassist and the drummer. No offense to Doug, he was great. It's just I know what vocals are, but like seeing like Dylan Delia do like these ridiculous noise solos and then come back into riffs, all while like looping riffs on top of that was nuts. It was stupid. It was absurd.
Yeah,
they played a great set.
Yeah, incredibly tight. They played the hits as far as the hits for Piron go.
There was a pit.
There was a small pit. I had to lead that charge, but for the show overall, for the whole night, the pit was relatively small, which I don't know if I'm upset about, but it was rather strange. It is hard to mosh to that. It is a small
also
venue.
About the size of a dorm room. So
yeah, true. It is a very small venue, but I don't know. More people could have moshed for sure.
Yes,
and it was a sold-out crowd.
Yeah, no, right. And Imperial Triumphant were also quite good. I think I probably enjoyed Piron more because I liked the music more, and they were probably better performers. But Imperial Triumphant were very, very tight.
They played an extremely competent show, and even they were going off the cuff and experimenting and do all sorts of bullshit on stage.
Yeah. I was directly in front of the bass amp for most of the show, and I didn't realize I knew their bassist was good. I didn't realize he was like, Jacko solo through every song while still playing riffs good.
Yeah.
And same thing with their drummer, like, holy Jesus fucking Christ.
No, when you watch it and you hear it, you're like, wow, like seriously, you're taken aback. There's literally 4 things going on in the rhythms. The drums alone are doing like 4 different times, and the bass is doing its own goddamn solos, and the guitar's holding it all together. But the rhythm section, at least, yeah, you're right, from where we were, was considerably louder, and that really kind of changed the dynamic a lot.
It was crazy. It was like this free jazz band with screams on top and a little bit of guitar.
Yeah.
Which was an interesting way of hearing it, and they're all stupidly good musicians. They had the full get up and costumes.
No, it was kind of funny watching them play and absolutely drip sweat from those fucking costumes.
Yeah, I felt bad too. And, you could see Zachary, their guitarist, mouth come out from under the mask when he screamed, and it was kind of funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, they didn't say a word to the crowd. It was sick.
Nope.
Nothing.
They just went right in.
And I was surprised at how actually solid. Was normal when you see a band like Septic Flesh or Flesh God live, I feel like you're just asking to get disappointed,
right?
Because you can only listen to death metal with 9 million symphonic elements before you're like, this is so goddamn dumb,
right?
But for a band for Imperial Triumphant, it was actually very tasteful. They basically only use tracks to seg. They played Transmission to Mercury and Swarming Opulence, and they'd play the intros and the outros on from the speaker, and then just do stuff on their own to sort of mimic that. Right. And the set was good. If you like their most recent 2 albums, it was an awesome set. Mm-hmm. They played all the bangers. They played, Chernobyl Blues, which is one of my all-time favorite songs, and that was sickeningly good live.
Yeah.
And funnily enough, the crowd went absolutely off for Swarming Opulence of all things.
Yeah, no, it's really funny. You heard the trombones and trumpet, I guess horns. You hear the horns come in.
Yeah, the horn intro.
And that song.
People just start hardcore flailing.
Yeah. And and then it all comes in, and bam, yeah, it was just so intense.
It's funny because for most of the set, it's kind of hard to mosh to certain types of music, and crescendo core, a song like Transition to Mercury or Chernobyl Blues is not mosh music. Or they also played Black Psychedelica. Yep. When none of those songs are mosh songs at all, because they're slow crescendo core into black metal, which is impossible to mosh to.
Mm-hmm.
And so when the band came out of those and played Swarming Opulence, people were fucking ready.
Oh yeah, it was so intense.
And yeah, no, I mean, it was a very good show. Piron were incredible live, Trail Tramp were incredible live. Got to shake Doug Moore's hand and talk to him very briefly. That was sort of a cool moment. Cause,
yeah, very cool.
I don't know. We've been reading his writing since we were very young. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, it was a show, long time coming, especially for Piron, and it was great to see another really out there band like Imperial Triumphant just take it
seriously,
home.
And it's good to see that they have a following.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's nice to know that exists.
Yeah, I agree.
Time.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
Sam, you're purple.
Oh, I did nothing. My camera just turned purple.
You're purple.
I guess we're gonna be purple. I talk about the Black Midi show.
Yeah, please.
So Black Midi was my last show this week.
Yep.
Saw them, I think on the 18th, which would have been this past Monday. And spoiler alert, Black Midi were incredible live.
Yeah, I believe it.
So I arrived to the show a little late because I was at school and I had to drive down. And in walking by the Sinclair in Cambridge where they were playing, there was literally a line from the Sinclair door all the way around the block to the next block.
Wow.
Before doors.
Wow. That's incredible. That's insane. I don't think I've ever seen that for.
I was so like, oh my god, because when you think of Black Midi, you think of like virgin core music.
Oh yeah.
You think of like Mew, you think of Pitchfork readers, RYM moderators.
Oh yeah.
Right? And that's us, so it's okay. But you think like, oh, there's no one actually likes this music.
Well,
they did. Me and another friend just sort of waited in line. We got in, got okay spots in front of the mixer for the first band, who were really good. They're called Loretta. Played like this incredibly bizarre, like I'd say like post-rock fusion, like based around one. So there were two guitarists, the vocalist, who's a woman, and the guitar, and another guitarist, and the second guitarist was playing a very peculiar instrument. He was playing a Fender Mustang with one pickup in the neck, and the pickup was a Fishman Effluent Modern, which, if you know anything about gear, that's like out there. And he didn't play a single guitar part the entire show. He was like playing, like his guitar sounded like a synth that sounded like anything but, and it had a lot of texture. The drummer and there was a keyboardist were incredibly tight, and the main vocalist, who was also tapping out these very like math rock or post rocky parts, was looping her own vocals to create chords and using them to play feedback, and it was very cool.
Hell yeah.
I'd never heard of them before. Very impressed though. Much better than the previous Incognito opening band I'd seen on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And then Black Midi came on, and me and my friend at this point were like sort of like the right center of the floor. And right before Black Midi came on, like a bunch of, I don't want to use the term normie, but people that presenting like relatively like average, like wearing like a sports jersey and like a few girls, like get right in the center in front of us and hold their phones out and start recording the whole intro. And I whisper to my friend, like, okay, in about a minute, these people are going to get fucking destroyed. And lo and behold, that did happen. Not before that Black Midi had a very comical intro. The whole set was, like, hysterical in the best way. Georgie Group was wearing this, like, ridiculous outfit with, like, a suit, a Harvard cap, and, like, sunglasses that covered his entire face. Cameron was like, the whole band was dripped out in like these ridiculous outfits.
Yeah.
Before they even came on, they had like an announcer do this like wrestler intro for them, and then they got on stage and opened with 953, and like the second here, like dun 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 dun, crowd went off. Like this. So this was another sold out show. When the Sinclair holds like 800, the crowd was like stupid into it.
I believe
I was sort of in the middle, so I had to beeline to the back about as soon as it happened.
Yeah.
And there was just a floor-sized pit the entire show.
That's insane.
Like the entire show.
Wow.
And it was funny because they're playing these songs like they opened with 953, and not a single lyric was like on the record. It was all just like, it was literally just them improving like dumb shit.
Yeah.
Like Georgia Group was like, I took a walk to Harvard Square and I got a Fenway Frank and Yankees suck and oh, and it was ridiculous. And then they played Detroit, near Flint or near DT, Michigan.
Yeah, near TD.
And
near
instead
DT.
of "There's lead in the water," Cam just said "Yankees fucking suck" like 80 times. That was the only lyric for the song. And these guys are ridiculously tight musicians, and seeing them live was definitely a trip, especially the drummer, Morgan. Like,
oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. They had a saxophonist and a keyboardist who were also awesome. After that, they played 8 originals that have never been released or recorded or in demo format.
Wow.
And they were really good. Like, don't get me wrong, it's Black Midi, and they did, like, a weird funk song. They did, like, a weird, like, disco tune.
Right.
They did, like, much more standard prog, like, or tune, and it was all really awesome. Um, and then they played a few songs off of Cavalcade. Of course, whenever they played the songs, they didn't sing the lyrics either.
Right.
And John L was like insane live. The crowd was going like the crowd for the show was insane. It was everyone was fairly young. You could say it was mostly like a normie audience. Use that term.
Yeah.
And it was ridiculous. They played John L was awesome. I got some good video, and then they played Slow, which was to end the set, which was awesome. And Cam, once again, sung every lyric about how Yankees fucking suck. And it was like such a weird experience because we're very used to self-serious metal bands.
Yeah.
Like, they come on stage, they're like, this song is about the abstractness of our human condition. Right?
Yeah.
And there's like very little crowd banter.
Yeah.
Or hardcore. Hardcore is also very self-serious. So seeing Black Midi get on stage and just like shit all over their originals was dumb. Yeah. Oh, by the way, they also did a cover of Walk This Way during John L. During the second verse of John L, they just played Walk This Way. They also did a cover of a Beastie Boys song.
Jesus.
And it was, I don't know, it was like, it was stupid. It was really fun.
Yeah.
It was very stupid.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed it. You could tell the people were in it.
Oh, I believe it.
And it was cool seeing them live after, being a big fan for a while.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are the Sam concert reports.
Fuck
40 minutes later.
Not even that
Jeez.
bad. Not even that bad. Fuck yeah. All right.
I have like 4
news,
like incredibly dumb news stories because metal sucks and nothing ever happens.
Yeah.
Dude, Jane Doe woman, bro.
Jane Doe woman.
Bro, Jane Doe woman. She's not. Jacob stole her.
I don't. Is she even mad? I think just
I don't
the
know.
internet's mad.
I think people were like, "Lol, this is funny."
Yeah.
And that's about it.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, that is what it is. It's just kind of whatever. Nothing. No good art is original.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of funny. I don't know. Nothing crazy.
Yeah. Not really.
Do you know what is crazy though?
Serge Tankian having COVID and they have to cancel their tours.
Oh, did that like just happen?
Yeah, it happened today.
Gotcha. That's kind of, I don't know, checks out, kind of sucks.
Yeah, breakthrough case.
Actually, Corey Taylor had a pretty good interview where he detailed like everything that they were doing to prevent COVID.
Yeah.
Same thing with BT Bam. Like, obviously if you're touring and something like that.
Well, yeah, you kind of have to.
Yeah, I mean, you ought to take some serious measures. But that sucks.
Yeah, it does.
I was gonna say what's crazy is how good Vended are.
Vended. I'm
How,
not aware. I'm not aware.
It's the band featuring Corey Taylor's son and Clown's son.
Oh.
And they're playing like
right.
Groove metal with like influence from everything, and it's like very adequate for what it is.
Right.
But
That's so funny. On RYM, it literally says metal band featuring Slipknot members' sons.
Yeah, they've been. I mean, obviously, because of who their parents are, they've gotten some.
Right. Is it just the one single that they have?
I think they also just announced an EP, which is pretty humorous. I don't know. I'm sure it's fine. I've seen a bunch of people on metal TikTok go bananas.
Of course.
As one does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. No hate there.
Nope, no hate.
Vince Neil.
Died
last week.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny, but also sad.
Yeah, no, very intense news.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess, yeah. I wish him a well recovery.
He was just like singing poorly with Motley Crue, and then fell off stage and broke his ribs. Which is, look, they never should have gone back on tour. That's so goddamn cynical. Especially after they signed like this crazy like we can't play ever again rule.
Yeah, right.
Let's see. So the Smash Mouth singer is not doing too hot either, and gone forever. He quit.
He quit?
Yeah.
Wow.
He's gone.
Damn.
I don't know if anyone here's. I think you've seen the video, Adam, where it's like him just losing it on stage.
I saw it on TikTok.
Yeah, that happened, and then he's not with them anymore.
Wow. I mean, I understand. Like,
I wish the best to
Yeah.
a Steve Harwell, I believe.
Yeah. No, that.
All
that,
right.
Yeah, intense.
Two more things, and sorry I'm rushing. I have
You're good.
This has gone on much longer than I anticipated.
Yeah, you're good.
Pop, you did a what's in my bag.
Yes,
it's like,
she did.
It's
Based.
like ridiculously based.
Based
She has
Poppy.
2 Boris records, Kraft, Leslie Gore, Portishead, and then 2 Sun records.
No, like, what?
Like, what the hell?
No, crazy.
So that was hysterical.
Yeah,
and
thank
cool.
you, Poppy. Yeah, very cool.
And final story I'll mention, I don't know if you have anything, is the Red Hot Chili Peppers stadium tour this summer.
Yeah, what about it?
They're touring with the Strokes, Haim, A$AP Rocky, St. Vincent,
Oh my god.
Anderson .Paak, the Free Nationals, Thundercat, Beck, and King Princess.
What the fuck?
It's like ridiculous, right?
I just
I
have
don't
Yeah, no, you're good.
I don't even like most of those artists. Like, they're fine. I know
Right.
they're popular, but like
Right.
that is stupid. Like that is ridiculous how good like those dates are.
Oh yeah. Who knows? Maybe we get. No, I'm not going to that show.
don't know.
I just
And that is
have.
officially all I have.
Yeah, I just have a couple of tour announcements that I think are interesting. Unleash the Archers is going on tour. They're playing the Middle East downstairs. Actually, they're playing with shit, who are they playing with?
Please let it be
It's not-
a bearable artist.
It's not good. I think. Hold on, who are they playing with? Seven Kingdoms and Aether Realm? Question
Oh
mark?
gosh, those are both power metal bands.
Yeah, they are. It's a power metal show, Sam, of course. I just thought it was interesting. And then also, Defeated Sanity is going on tour in 2022, and we have to see that show.
Yeah, all right.
They're even playing at the Jewel.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They're not even
Barf.
playing in Boston. We can see our fucking bongy goddamn German tech death.
Yeah. Yeah, did we mention the Primitive Man Blood Incantation tour?
No.
Yeah, well, that's
I forgot
happening.
about that. Yeah, when is
Stupid.
that?
December. Also, Sangwa Sugabog.
Frozen Soul.
Frozen Soul, sorry. That's a crazy lineup. I
Yeah.
actually just got tickets for that. So.
Oh, fuck, I forgot. That's right. Jarhead, that's right. They're playing... Oh my god. That show's insane.
Yeah, it really is.
Wait, we're at Boston. Middle East downstairs. That's with Jarhead Fertilizer and his fucking, Chapang playing that too.
I think so. I don't know. I'll go to that.
Yeah, I'm fucking going to that show.
Any
yeah.
final thoughts, Adam?
Not really any final thoughts. Hey, Pale Communion, who knows? We'll be back with,
Sorceress eventually.
Sorceress eventually, yeah.
I don't know how much more my body can take of mediocre prog.
Whoa, hold on.
Adam just
in
got...
the world? This can't be real. Wait. So, there's this date. I just found it online. Like, this is a joke, right? Like, this is not real. You have to verify this for me, because I can't be seeing what I'm seeing. I don't know what it is, but I kind of want to I want more info.
I don't know. Is that it seems like a festival.
It looks like some sort of festival or something. What day? What's the date? The 4th?
The 4th, yeah.
Oh, that's so strange. That's it's insane.
Indian Inter Armor Withered? Yashira? Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That's something.
That's hysterical.
But yeah, no, yeah, no,
Right.
that'll be cool.
That'll be cool. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, thank
stay
you.
safe. It's been a pleasure to listen to mediocre Opeth records, even though Pokemon is actually pretty good.
Yeah. Alrighty,
Oh,
yeah.
well, guys.
Yeah, okay. Bye bye.